You have until exactly 1630 SAST on August 31st, 2026, to decide if your company is going to submit an expression of interest for the CSIR's latest commercialization partnership. The sheer volume of raw plastic cycling through the industrial supply chain represents a massive logistical challenge, and that is exactly the scale of the problem this partnership is trying to solve. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research is offering private sector businesses access to fully de-risked, locally developed intellectual property. This specific IP handles the complex chemistry of converting used plastics into market-ready, injection-molded consumer goods, like heavy-duty furniture. But there is a clear division of labor in this offer. The government institution is providing the proven science, meaning the private sector partner must bring the operational scale. You will handle physical manufacturing, building out distribution networks, and running consumer marketing campaigns. Taking on this partnership is an execution play, not an R&D play. Drafting an expression of interest only makes sense for very specific business profiles ready to deploy commercial infrastructure. The primary material target for this technology is polyolefins. Upcycling polyolefin waste offers a direct route into the circular economy, but turning that waste into a profitable product is notoriously difficult to commercialize if you do not already own the heavy machinery required to process it. Because of that difficulty, the CSIR is filtering candidates based on 3 mandatory operational pillars: active production facilities, established distribution networks, and proven market penetration capacity. This checklist shows the reality of the impending deadline. That countdown timer leaves zero room for delay, and the 3 non-negotiable requirements on the right dictate exactly who is qualified to apply. Lacking even one of those 3 pillars creates a fatal bottleneck, stopping the commercialization process before a single product rolls off the line. To figure out if your business should apply, we need to run a scenario match, mapping your current operational assets against what the CSIR requires. With the deadline under a month away, you do not have time to build these operational pillars from scratch. You must evaluate this opportunity based strictly on the infrastructure you possess today. Let's look at the first ideal candidate profile: established plastics and furniture manufacturers. This comparison matrix breaks down the economics of the deal. For manufacturers, the required input is physical. You must dedicate your existing injection molding lines to process the specific waste stream. That means actively giving up valuable factory floor space to integrate the CSIR's upcycling technology into your daily operations. The projected outcome listed in the second column is highly attractive. Your product development timeline drops to nearly zero. You get to instantly enter the growing sustainable goods market, completely bypassing the years of expensive R&D usually required to formulate recycled plastics. But the strategic trade-off is harsh. Processing this waste means cannibalizing machine time from your existing non-recycled product lines. Your decision to apply hinges entirely on one calculation. Do the projected profit margins of these new green market goods justify interrupting the cash cow operations currently keeping your lights on? The second profile belongs to existing recycling enterprises that already control large waste streams. Looking at the second row of our matrix, the required input for recyclers relies on supply chain dominance. You have to guarantee a massive, consistent, high-quality stream of used polyolefin plastics. Your main contribution is acting as a flawless gatekeeper for the raw material, ensuring volume and quality control. If you can do that, the projected outcome is highly lucrative. You evolve from a low-margin raw material vendor into a high-margin consumer product creator. However, the operational trade-off is immense. You will be forced to develop heavy manufacturing expertise and B2C marketing strategies entirely outside of your core competency. Recyclers face the highest potential financial reward here, but you also face the steepest learning curve. Failing to execute the manufacturing side risks destabilizing the core business model that got you here. The final profile looks at sustainability-focused investors and agile small to medium enterprises. In the third and final row of our matrix, the required input for investors is straightforward: the aggressive deployment of capital. Without existing infrastructure, your primary role is financing the facility setup and paying for the market penetration campaigns required to sell these products. The projected outcome allows you to acquire a state-backed green technology and capture the manufacturing revenue without ever paying for the initial scientific research. But the severe trade-off is time to market. Building physical supply chains and manufacturing footprints from scratch significantly delays your path to revenue. If you are an investor or SME, you have to view this as a long-term, heavy industry infrastructure play. This is not a rapid software-style acquisition. Now that we've mapped the individual profiles, we need a unified framework to make a final decision before the deadline. This quadrant chart plots the two critical axes of success for this application. The x-axis tracks your manufacturing and distribution capability, while the y-axis measures your direct access to plastic waste streams. The ideal candidate sits squarely in the top right quadrant, possessing high capability and high access simultaneously. If your business maps to that top right quadrant, you need to prioritize drafting this expression of interest immediately. You are the exact execution partner the CSIR is hunting for. If you are a recycler sitting in the top left quadrant, meaning you have the waste but lack the manufacturing, your best strategy is to avoid applying a loan. Instead, secure a joint venture with an established manufacturer to cover your operational blind spots before submitting your paperwork. And if your business falls into the bottom left quadrant, lacking both the infrastructure and the waste streams, acquiring this IP will quickly become a fatal operational burden. Pass on this opportunity and deploy your capital elsewhere. The highest return on your time right now is to rigorously review the CSIR's technical requirements. Confirm exactly which quadrant you sit in today before you write a single word of your application.